Welcome to this video where I will try to demonstrate how to find the hinging of doors. And in this test project I have a level here which is meant for showing how this could be done. All of these doors have a tag put on them where the hinging is a part of it. So it will show up when I'm finished with this graph I'm going to make in Dynamo. Then I can see how it is hinged. So I will now go into Dynamo. Inside Dynamo here I will start a new graph, and inside this graph I will now start to collect some elements from my Revit file. But before I do that, I will change this automatic into a manual driven one, and then I point down here will go outside the frame of the video, but I will select manual. So I'll have to push run before I can run this graph. So manual, select this, because if you don't do this, you can end up in a loop where it will fill up the memory in your computer, and then you will just collapse and finish the program. So try to use manual instead of automatic when you build the graph. Okay. Inside here I have some add-ons where all the packages I have loaded in my Dynamo, and they are surely much more than you need, but yeah, try to take to load them step by step when you're going to use them. So here I have the built-in nodes, and I will start to have something of I collect. So I'll go under Revit and I can find a selection. And inside here I can choose what I am going to select, and I'm going to select categories. If I typed categories, it would then find all those nodes which has some kind of word attached to them or a search string where categories would show up. And this could be a huge amount of nodes which answer to this category thing. It is actually this one I'm going to use, and this was under selection. So let me return to the selection and take here and use, I'm going to use those categories, and I'm going to take all elements of categories like this. So now I can connect those two, and I can say that I want to have categories of doors. So I can press D for coming to the range where D is in it. And I want doors. So to show now I have selected all the doors, I want to add a watch node. So you could either type here, or you could right click, and then you could also search. It's the same search as the in the one in the upper left corner. Watch, and then place it here. Combine those nodes here with wires, and then press run. So now we can see I've selected 12 doors, the 12 doors which are present on this plan here. Good. So now I want to do something with those doors. Now I have made my collection. So I'll just put this out to the side. And now I'm going to use something where I can see how the doors are hinged. So, and inside Revit, this is hand flipped or face flipped. And this is found under the Orchid package, under elements, and there you have some elements here which will go for face flipping, and flipped here is for elements which can only flip out and in, and that would mean walls and stuff like that. And here I have elements which can be hand flipped or face flipped. This is also available giving you the Boolean operation. So let's try to add this one so you can see the difference. And that was face flip, so I will add face flip here also. I'm also going to use hand flip, so I will also add hand flip. So if I add now the elements here and here, and I will add some more watch nodes, you can do that by just marking it and press Ctrl C, press Ctrl V, and then you will have a new instance of this one. Or you could hover it and press Ctrl down while you drag a new instance of it, and then you would have it copied. So like this. Okay, let's try to press run to this one. Now it tells me the face flip true value, because the face flip is giving me a return value on if either is it flipped or is it not flipped. So this would either give me a true value, those doors are true value, and those doors here are false values. This is the same I get here. So now I'll get a list of true and false, and I need to compare them with this list here. So I can see the true value is given for this door, which is marked with 62, 33, 97, and this is actually the door up here, which is marked true. So this one will find the value and split the list into which was true and which was false. The Boolean operation here would only give you a list of true and false values, and then you will have to filter on that to see those. So let's try to do that. And now I'll try to use this one. So filter by bool mask, which shows up very fast here. So this one, I can now take the list, and then I can take the mask, and then I will add 2 new watch nodes here. Mark it, press Ctrl C, mark it, Ctrl C, which goes in, which goes out, or which is true or which is false. And then you will actually have the same list as this one would give you. So the true values and the false values. So which was in the filter and which was out the filter. We are not going to use this method, so I'll delete those nodes here and keep continuing using those here. Okay, I will also add for hand flipping, and we could also add more nodes of this. It can be a tricky from time to time to have use this control button, but then Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and you will have it. So now I'll have a list which is hand flipped or not, and it is not necessarily the same list as this one, because if you have a door and it has those markers here, then this is the face flipping, as it says, flip the instance facing. So now it would go flipped by the face. This one would be an instance of hand flipping, so flipping this way. I'll go back to my Dynamo. So now, as you can see, I have those lists. I need to rerun it because I moved some doors, and as you can see, it updates the lists now where I pressed run. Okay, what would I like to do with this information? Well, in my doors, I have some information or some parameters added. In this door here, which is an external door, I have a hinge side, so meaning hand flipped, and I have an opening side, which means does it go outwards or inwards. So it would be the face flipping. This is only present, the opening side here is only present for those doors which are kind of generic doors, which also have this feature. But if you see this one, it is already typed in the parameter, and it is grayed out that this one can only go in. And therefore it is also shown here that this is inwards. So the graph will not be able to add a value in this one, and that will give me an error later, but the parameter exists, but it cannot write anything in it. I am well aware of that because this door is made as an ingoing door, and it cannot go outside. There is not a flipping option for it. So in advance, the door knows that this is pointing inwards and it cannot be anything else. The same goes for this door, which is forced to be an outgoing door. It cannot do anything else. So essentially, the only doors which can add a face flipping would be those where it is present, the parameter is present, and you can add it. What about the indoors here? Well, when you buy an inner door, it doesn't really matter if it is flipped this way or this way. Therefore, there are no option of putting in an opening side, because it is just pivoting in the hole. And when you buy the frames for an inner door, it really doesn't matter if it goes outside or inside. What really matters is only if it is supposed to be flipped right or left, or the hand side or the hinging side. So therefore there's a parameter for hinging, but not a parameter for opening side. So those 4 doors will fail when I run my graph. It doesn't matter in praxis, because we know that an inner door we don't need the information about opening side for an inner door. Let's go back to Dynamo.